Hi everyone. So let's talk about what the Divine Masculine is going through right now. There's a really big shift with Divine Masculines. Not all of them. The ones that have been on this journey for some time, and I'm talking like years, maybe even just a year, or if you as a Divine Feminine are aware of the journey and they're not fully awake yet, but it's almost as if they feel that connection is stronger. Things are shifting pretty quickly in their world. Karmic cycles are ending. They're doing a lot of healing, inner work, introspection. And it's very interesting to actually because there are times that I'm able to actually watch my Divine Masculine go through the shifts, and it's so funny. I can tell, I guess it's really not that funny, but I can tell when the energies are getting a little bit too heavy for him. And that's when he'll pull back. And then of course my ego gets involved and I'm like, why, what's going on here? What did I do? What did I say? And usually it's not me. It's just the energies that are going on. So if you feel like there's been a disconnect, whether you're fully separated from your Divine Masculine or you're in semi-separation like I am, and you feel like there is a disconnect, it's like some days there's this really big disconnect and other days you feel very close to them. It's because they do feel that very big energy shift. And with Divine Masculine, sometimes they find it really, really hard. We as Divine Feminines can work through that emotionally and purge. Sometimes with them, they have to actually go through something pretty big in their lives to purge something out of their lives or finish a karmic cycle. So let's see, July 2nd, week of July 2nd. What is it that the Divine Masculine, what are the energies? Let's do the headspace, heart space, and environment like we've done in the past. What is in the headspace of the Divine Masculine? Nurture, which is the Empress. So I actually think that this represents the Divine Feminine. It also represents creativity, it represents growth, it represents mastering yourself, or really getting in touch with your Divine Feminine side. We've talked about having those polarities equalize within you, and the Divine Masculine may be going through that right now. The first card is the 5 of Cups. So I really am actually feeling that the Divine Masculine has the feminine in his headspace and kind of regrets or is disappointed about the way things have gone, and the Wheel of Fortune. So changes, karmic changes that we don't even have to try to make, or he doesn't even have to. And I say he, Divine Masculines can be female as well. If you're questioning why I'm saying that, I go back and look at the video that I did about Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine are not 3D terms. So the Wheel of Fortune, this is when fated events happen. And it could be that, if the Divine Masculine is thinking or regretting not doing certain things in the past or feeling disappointed about things that have happened, I kind of want to say that there are fated events that will be occurring and shifts that will be happening very karmically to have brand new beginnings. The Page of Pentacles, brand new beginnings. And he's really, and this being in his headspace, it's almost like he's aware that things are changing or things have to change because of the regrets and disappointments from the past. There has to be some kind of new path that needs to be taken. Things can't stay in a status quo. So let's get one more card for the Divine Masculine's headspace. Actually, I really want to, let's clarify the Five of Cups. What are the regrets that the Divine Masculine is thinking about? So the Emperor, he could, and this is the thing, it's almost like he had so much control before in the past of the way events took place. It's also about being stagnant. You know, it's really hard to move an emperor. He is going to rule his kingdom in the way that he wants to rule his kingdom. And I feel like he's almost regretting controlling the way this situation played out, or, you know, controlling the way just being very disappointed in forcing the way it was supposed to go instead of just letting the events take place. And so the Wheel of Fortune, what is the Wheel of Fortune in the Divine Masculine's headspace? Six of Cups. So yeah, the soulmate connection. And it's like he's fully aware of what this connection is, or he's becoming aware of what this connection is. And the funny thing is even if you're in full separation from your Divine Masculine, I do feel like this is also what's occurring. The fated events are making him look back into the past and recognizing that in order to move forward with the Page of Pentacles, something a little bit more stable needs to happen. A new direction needs to be taken. So what is the Page of Pentacles in the Divine Masculine's headspace? He may still feel like he doesn't have enough to offer the Divine Feminine, and that could be one of the regrets. Oh, how many cards came out? 2. Okay. So 4 of Cups and the 5 of Wands. Yeah, and this is really what I was just saying. He may feel like he doesn't have enough to offer the Divine Feminine at this time, but he's fully aware of the connection and kind of regretful that things happened in the past the way that they did. But I do feel like there's an inner conflict with the 5 of Wands. And the conflict may be, do I offer something? Do I accept anything? Do I move forward with this? So I do feel like he is aware. And you know, like I always say, this isn't going to resonate with everyone. If this does not resonate with you this week, maybe it'll resonate next week. But everybody is in different stages with this journey. So if this is not resonating with you, maybe next week it will. But I do feel like to me, it feels like the shift that is happening is that the Divine Masculine is coming closer to the realization that things do have to change. And maybe not specifically ready to offer or do that next step, but just having that realization, it's almost like admitting to himself that there is something that has to change. Something new needs to happen. Or that it's changing whether he likes it or not. That could be another thing. He's very aware that something is shifting and changing whether he likes it or not. Okay, so Divine Masculine heart space. Well-deserved reward, which is the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles often represents being on your own. So he may feel like he really needs to be on his own right now and kind of deal with his 3D world. Well-deserved reward. What is in the Divine Masculine's heart space? Yeah, the feeling that I'm getting is it's almost like he knows that he's been building upon things. There's a lot of clarity, and I feel like if he has pulled back or he is on his own, being on his own right now with the Sun, this is how things become clear. And it's like what I was saying in the beginning, like before I started shuffling the cards. If your divine masculine has pulled back from you and that kind of puts you up in your head and you're like, what did I do wrong? I don't really feel like it's anything that you did wrong. I feel like this is just something that really needs to take place. Like he has to go within and figure out where he wants to, it's very interesting that Pentacles came out for his heart space. He's very in the 3D version right now, but being very clear about it. And the Queen of Swords. So the divine feminine showing up in a very logical way, in a very air sign, taking no nonsense. And that could really be what's making him feel like he's on his own right now. Because the divine feminine has pulled back. And we saw in the reading for the divine feminine healing that, divine feminine may be blocking their own union by being in their head too much, or not accepting any offers from the divine masculine, or not even wanting to entertain that. And I think that he's really feeling that from her. And it's like, I don't want to say cold, but it kind of feels a little cold. Like maybe you are being a bit cold and that's what's made him pull back a little bit. Yeah, 9 of Wands. In his heart space, he's feeling a little blocked. Very clear that it's almost, oh man. Okay, so this is what just came to me. It's very clear that the divine masculine is feeling like you have pulled back. And is recognizing, and that's why he's recognizing in his headspace that something has to change. He sees that you are growing into an empress. He sees that there is this growth period with you where you are kind of cutting things out of your life, and you may have pulled back from him energetically. And then again, this is for people in separation as well. He can feel the energetic shift between you and him. And that almost could very well be a good thing. I feel like there's a lot of clarity here, but he's feeling very blocked from the divine feminine for sure. So the Sun. What is the Sun? And remember that if you're not seeing this action take place on the 3D because you guys are separated, it doesn't mean it's not happening. Doesn't mean it's not happening. Just because you can't see it, that's where faith comes into play. So what is the Sun in the divine masculine's heart space? Page of Wands. So he does want to take action. He does want to go in a new, and that's the thing. In his heart, it's more of a passionate and fiery beginning. It's not the Page of Pentacles. Like, I don't have enough to be able to offer. But clearly he knows something new has to happen. He has to go in a different direction. Because the way things are happening now aren't really working out for him. Still coming out more of a page than a king. So possibly still, he may not have a lot of self-esteem right now about what he wants to do, or where he wants to go. So Queen of Swords. What is this Queen of Swords energy for the divine masculine's heart space? We've got 2 cards, one flipped over here. Yeah, the Star. And Karma, which is judgment. So, really healing from the pullback. It's almost like he's recognizing that this is the karmic cycle that's shifting. Like, oh man, and I think there was a couple of weeks it was like maybe the beginning of June, where the divine masculine was like scared about losing the divine feminine and feared losing her altogether. But if you are blocking the divine masculine from your energy, or deciding that you're going to pull back and be a little bit colder, he's fully recognizing that. And he's also, it's almost like a trigger for him. Like he needed this to heal. He needed to go through this to heal. And it's been a fight. It's been a struggle. So 9 of Wands. What is this 9 of Wands for? There we go. Yep, the Tower. The Tower. It's almost as if the 9 of Pentacles feeling, the well-deserved reward, is like the mask that he's showing the world that everything's okay. You know, I'm good. Everything's good. I'm stable. I'm steady. I'm working really well. But in his heart, there's this feeling of almost defeat. You know, there's like almost a defeat feeling. And feeling the divine feminine pull back will, you know, this is that karmic pattern, that karmic cycle. And he's going through a lot of healing right now. A lot of karma. A lot of karma is coming up for the divine masculine. That Tower energy with the 9 of Wands. And remember, the 9 of Wands is like, you're almost there, you know. So I feel like this Tower is kind of that last push in his heart of, you know, how much further can I fight this before I have to actually recognize that I need to do something and move forward. He's starting to become very clear on what needs to happen in order. Something needs to change. So let's see what's going on in the divine masculine's environment that may be holding him back from moving forward. Ooh, that was the card that wanted to come out. Challenging times. So the 5 of Wands, which we've gotten twice. So in his headspace, there are challenging times. In his environment, there's fighting and challenges. And this may be what's been holding him back, is there's so much going on in his environment. He can't really clear out his headspace. He can't really come to like a zen, you know. Yeah, exactly. 8 of Swords. Can't really clear out his headspace. He's kind of stuck himself in an imprisonment of his own mind because of the challenges that surround him. Four of Pentacles. He may be worried about his 3D world because of the destruction that's going on, like because of the chaos that's going on within him. I think that he might be worried about how it's going to affect his environment. And he may be kind of holding on for dear life. I feel like this is kind of a lifeboat. It's like a lifeboat feeling, like, you know, I'm holding on for dear life. I don't want this ship to sink, kind of thing. But if there is turmoil within, your environment is going to reflect that. So let's see. In the divine masculine's environment, we have Ace of Pentacles. So, he could also really, yeah, there's this need for stability. And it's almost like he is holding on for dear life in order to have this stability in his life. So, 8 of Swords. What is the challenging times? What are the challenging times? 8 of Swords for the divine masculine's environment. 6 of Wands. So, it's almost like he's trying to figure out how to rise above everything. I often say that if you're in an uncomfortable situation and you keep fixing that uncomfortable situation, but it gets more and more uncomfortable as you go along, I think I said this in the Divine Feminine reading, typically it gets to a point to where it's so uncomfortable you cannot fix it anymore. And I feel like he's trying to fix the environment again. He's trying to fix the challenging aspects of his environment again, to the point of needing to have like the safety and security of the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, Seven of Swords. He's not quite ready to walk away. He's thought about it, but he's still holding on to his 3D world. Not quite ready to walk away, but he's like really thinking about what it would be like to not have to continuously fix other people's problems. That was kind of a specific message right there. An Ace of Pentacles. So stability is really, really, really a big focus right now in his environment and trying to make things stable in his life. Ace of Pentacles for the Divine Masculine. Yeah, Eight of Pentacles. And he's doing the work. I feel like it's almost as if in order to get away from the headspace and the feelings, he'll just do the work. He'll push himself to do the work. The environmental work, you know, at his job. It's almost like he's burying himself in building up his stability. So I'm going to actually do one more. I'm going to pick all these up. And I'm going to see. The question I will ask is, how does the Divine Masculine feel towards the Divine Feminine right now? How does the Divine Masculine feel towards the Divine Feminine? That's the one. There it is. Strengthening bonds. Ace of Pentacles. So it could be, he feels the stability with the Divine Feminine. I also feel like it's almost like he knows that if he were to move forward with the Divine Feminine, that it would be much more stable than where he is right now. What does he think of the Divine Feminine? Eight of Cups with the strengthening bonds, with the Ace of Pentacles. So he also knows that I feel like he feels like the Divine Feminine is walking away from him or disconnecting in some way. This could also be that he knows that he has to walk away from things in order to be with the Divine Feminine. Yeah. 10 of Swords and the 9 of Swords. He knows that something has to end in his environment or within himself in order to have this Ace of Pentacles life. And it's almost as if he fears the Divine Feminine walking away from him. If there isn't something that's offered within the 3D world, there's a very deep-rooted fear within the Divine Masculine that the Divine Feminine will walk away. And it will be totally devastating. And I feel like it's kind of like a torturous thing for him. He becomes very afraid that the Divine Feminine will walk away. So, 8 of Cups. King of Pentacles and the King of Wands on the Eight of Cups. So funny, because the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands came out in the Divine Feminine reading too. And this is how he feels towards her. This is how he feels towards the Divine Feminine. He wants to have that stability. He wants to have that passion. He knows what he wants to have. You know, and even, again, if it's not showing in the 3D worlds, the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands is a person who, they know what they want, and they go after what they want. So if you are or have disconnected, he is feeling that fully. And I have, you know, I wanted to say I have this feeling. Of course I have a feeling. That's not what he wants. It's, he has a very deep-rooted fear that that you're going to walk away and this is going to end. 10 of Swords. The Empress. Yep. There's a very real fear here that he's going to lose the Empress. That it'll be over. And the 9 of Swords. Whoa. 4 of Wands. So, and the Ace of Cups is at the bottom of the deck. So he has a lot of, you know, there's a lot of feelings for the Divine Feminine, a lot of feels there. But the fear of stability, the fear of this being stable with the Divine Feminine is real within him. You know, the 4 of Wands on the 9 of Swords is, like, I feel like he fights with himself on, you know, how do I get to this stability with her? How do I not lose her completely? But the fact that he has all of these other things, these challenges in his environment, just be fully aware that he is connected with you. He is connected with you. And because the Empress, you know, has shown up twice. Like, he sees you as this very feminine person, but also feels the disconnect that's happened or is happening this week. So be fully aware of that as you go along in your week. I hope you guys liked this way. Let me know, and I'll keep doing the readings like this. I kind of like it because then we can look at each different aspect. But, yeah, really big shifts for the Divine Masculine this week. And, you know, I hate to make it apparent that fear is a big motivator. It's also can paralyze a person. So depending on how he works through this fear, I feel like this is a big karmic shift. It's almost like the Divine Feminine had to pull away in order for him to recognize what will be lost. I also got that he may see that you could have a karmic partner, and that may be why there's 2 kings here. And that you need to walk away from one of these karmic partners, and he fears that you might not. So, all right, my dears, I hope you're well. And, okay, and the workshops that I'm doing, I know it's like the business part of it. I appreciate everybody who stays and listens. July 20th and July 27th, I'll be in New York and Boston. You can get the events and all the information on my website, fearlessintuition.net. I'm also doing in-person readings. Those are all available on my website as well while I'm in Boston and New York City. And you can also get Soulmate Twin Flame readings, video recorded readings on my website. I am releasing them small numbers at a time, so I make sure that I keep my energy pretty stable. And plus, I don't want to like push everybody's readings out too far. So that was my active choice to make. Just offering a limited number each month during the summertime. You can also get me on the InstantGo app. So I love you guys. I will See you next week. Bye.